Hi, I'm Irene, and today's Fit Girl Guide is the 7 things that my skin taught me this year, because my skin taught me a lot this year. So starting with the obvious, drinking more water, and I feel like almost every Fit Girl skincare video starts with that, and that's pretty basic, but I'm gonna give you the best tip that I learned from the professionals at the very end of the video. So make sure you stay for all 7 things. So drink more water, it's a given. I feel like you never can drink enough, and even when you think that you're drinking enough, you're still not drinking enough. You still end up being dehydrated. But I swear, like, I've struggled with my skin for so many reasons, and I feel like so many of the videos out there are just telling you all the products that they think that you should buy because they get a special commission off of them, and they're swearing that it's gonna help you. But I'm gonna actually share with you the reasons that I learned that my skin was breaking out so much. And I still don't have perfect skin, and it still bothers me, and I wish that it was better, but there are only things that you can do to help it. And of course, it's gotten so much better than it used to be. And you can see here in the picture that I'm putting on the screen now that I got so many breakouts. It was all over the place, all on the sides. I ended up going to the dermatologist for one of the most serious times in my life because I just couldn't get it under control. I was like, what is this? So why is my skin breaking out so badly? What are all of these bumps? So I actually found out that it was Millie at one point, and I asked the dermatologist, why is this happening? Am I doing something wrong? Because I feel like I'm being careful. And she kind of just asked me those basic questions like, what's your lifestyle? And, certain things like, where are you during the day? And usually that's training in gyms, like in between clients. So what ends up happening? I ended up touching weights, touching mats, touching yoga blocks, touching sweaty people, and then probably not always carrying, antibacterial and all that stuff. So that's number one. Well, number one is drink more water. Number two is realizing what you're doing all the time and where your hands are going. Because we all say like, oh, your hands go to your face, but really your hands go to your face, and they go to your face very quickly. So if you're in the gym and you're touching weights, you really need to make sure that you're not touching your skin, especially touching clients. You're not touching your skin right after. And carrying an antibacterial kind of like spray is good, but it doesn't kill it. So washing your hands, carrying wipes, and having that antibacterial is something that you're gonna wanna do. And once I really got good with that this year, I noticed that all of those bumps really diminished. So that was a big one. Number 3, I went to an esthetician and I got kind of like a facial done. And it was kind of one of those deals where you walk in and you have like a special promo deal for being a new walk-in. And I first started trying to get microdermabrasion. So she ended up doing a little bit, but she explained to me why she couldn't do all of it. And I was kind of upset at first because, I paid for it and I thought I was gonna get microdermabrasion all over my face. But I don't know, the best thing I can tell you is do your research, because she taught me, and my skin taught me, that the problems that I had all over my face weren't gonna be fixed with microdermabrasion. Why? Because you have bacteria and it's kind of like all over, and if you're still actively breaking out and you've got pimples, then all that microdermabrasion is going to do is spread the bacteria and spread everything all around your face, and you don't want that. I learned to your research, and you actually have to clear breakouts before you go getting an intense procedure done. You may not like this one, you gotta stop wearing so much makeup. So this is probably the most makeup that you'll see me wear, and I only do this when I'm filming or if I'm going somewhere really special. I used to be the girl that put makeup on every day. I used to be the girl that wore makeup to the gym sometimes, and I don't mean plastered on. I mean just like a little bit of like concealer and powder and like doing my brows, and I thought like, I need to do this. This is like the basics. But really, you don't need to be putting all that stuff on your face to go and sweat. It's ridiculous. And it's not like a beauty competition when you're walking into a hot yoga class, or you're walking into like a weight class or a gym, or even your home gym. It just doesn't make sense, and all you're doing is clogging up your pores. So that was a really good lesson for me this year, and I really stopped wearing makeup to the gym, period, to classes, and in general every single day. I do not wear makeup every day. I'm talking no concealer, no powder, no brows, no highlighter, like no, nothing. because your skin looks so much better when it's healthy, when it's clean, and it's naturally glowing. So wearing all that stuff every single day, you're just prone to breaking out more because your pores are clogged. It's just not realistic. So that is a really big tip that my skin taught me this year. And as soon as I started doing that, now it was a process. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a process. But as soon as I started doing that and I stopped wearing so much makeup every day, I stopped breaking out so much. Take it or leave it. My next tip is a drying lotion. I got this one. I got this one from Sephora. It's the Mario Badescu. Is that how you say it? Mario Badescu drying lotion. Just put a little bit on a cotton swab, dap it on where you're breaking out the pimple, let it go overnight, and then, you know, bada boom, bada bang, looks like bippity boppity boo. So this really helped me a lot this year, and I was kind of like, I don't want all those special products, but don't ask me why, but it helped. So get yourself a drying lotion if you're the one that's waking up with pimples all the time. My next tip was inside out, because of course I'm always like thinking like healthy things and things that can help me, but this year I really learned that I needed to step up my game when it comes to nutrients and giving my skin like what it needs. So I started really taking advantage of what I was already doing. So I always make smoothies in the morning. I always kind of share my healthy smoothies here on YouTube, on my Instagram, and I started putting things in my smoothies that would help me versus just tasting good. And I kind of learned, okay, like there are things that I can do to make it taste good and like naturally sweeten it, but things I can put in there like chlorophyll and spirulina and healthy powders and maca and things that are going to boost my skin and actually give it that longevity and give it that glow in the morning and all that stuff that you need, you know, for the inside out, because it's not just about what we're plastering on, it's about our cells and really, really, really deep. I know that sounds so deep, but it's like it goes way deeper than the surface is what I'm trying to say, and my skin taught me that this year. So when it comes to products, I know that you're gonna need something. So this is kind of like a 3-in-1. When it comes to moisturizing, I learned that I didn't necessarily need to do moisturizing like so much. I think I was over moisturizing to the point where I was kind of like drying my skin out. I was drying my skin out, so I just needed to find a basic skin moisturizer that was going to replenish my skin but not just completely drown it out. And I was using, and even past moisturizers, I was using like that shea butter one, and I went to an esthetician that really explained to me why that one wasn't working for my exact skin type. So again, do your research. But I was using the wrong line the whole time, and that's why it's good to have some knowledge about what your skin needs. So I started using this Clinique, and this one is just kind of like an overnight revitalizing moisturizer. And I learned that a little bit more night care actually helps me a lot more versus just thinking I needed to topple on a bunch of cleansers and things in the beginning of the day. And then, you know, what was I doing before? I was putting on a bunch of makeup on top of it. So I really wasn't doing that like rejuvenating skincare routine at night. So I started using the Clinique overnight moisturizer. And then intermittently, I started using this microdermabrasion scrub because I realized that I couldn't do the actual service, but Bliss actually has this scrub and I really can feel like I'm cleaning my skin, and it's really just like getting into my pores and getting all that dirt and those, you know, the layers underneath and all the things that really just get stuck, especially here in my nose. That always happens to me. And then I started using this peel, which is gonna lead me to my last tip. But this peel is amazing, and it has that glycolic ingredient that really helps with brightening the skin. This really helps, and the money that I was saving not buying so much concealer and different foundations and loading up my skin, this stuff really was a good investment. Now that we're at the end of the video, I'm gonna give you my bonus, and I actually have a double bonus when it comes to skin. So number one was the foundation that I was using. I realized that all the over-the-counter foundations I was using, like the cleansers, wasn't doing any good for me. They were actually way, how do I explain it? Too liquidy? They were too much. They were basically clogging the heck out of my pores, and it made my skin just suffer. It suffered so bad, and I went to 3 different people that told me the same thing, and I gave them enough information to get what was going on, but not enough information to just say the same thing as someone else said. They all said the same thing. So I stopped buying those heavy liquid foundations and I switched to one that was more light. Of course, everybody's skin's different, so it's not gonna do me any good to tell you, or it's not gonna do you any good for me to just tell you which one I used. But do your research when it comes to those foundations, especially those full coverage liquid foundations, because they really affect your skin. And the last thing that really helped me was I started getting chemical peels. So they were kind of like an enzyme peel. So I started getting those kind of like it may have been 6 weeks, don't quote me on that. But I started getting these enzyme peels and I started taking photos of my skin. And in combination with all of those tips that I kind of shared before, because all of those were kind of like a ripple effect after the peel started, I learned a few things. So I learned that I was like washing my face with the wrong temperature water. I was doing steamers to my face, and all I was doing was constantly opening my pores to allow a bunch of bacteria to go in. And I didn't really get that or understand that. And I really did more damage to my own skin than I knew that I was doing by kind of just taking all this different advice and like putting steamers on my face. And I didn't need to open my pores anymore because they were already so open. I learned that from my process of getting my enzyme peels. I got them consistently for a little while and I took pictures throughout my whole journey. It helped my skin a lot. But then of course it was a really, pricey investment to keep doing all the time, and that's why I ended up trying to try different things. But on that journey and on that route, I learned so much about my skin. So if you take anything from this last bonus tip, is don't just go and copy somebody else's skincare routine, because you don't know if their skin is just like yours. The things that you do in your everyday life, like me being in the gym all the time, touching weights, touching clients, touching my face, you don't know if that's their reality or if that's your reality. Doing their exact thing isn't going to help you with that. And wearing their exact makeup isn't going to give you the same skin or the same after effect. Really do your research and take advice with a grain of salt, and just listen to the things that you can apply to yourself that don't exactly mean going to buy someone's whole line, but really just listen to the things that they say and they share, like this video, because all of these things are legit what happened to me, and they're all things that are relatable that you probably can apply to your own life. So here's to good skin and being natural and glowy in the next year ahead, and I will see you in the next video.